If you died right this second, who would find your body? My dog would probably find me first. She would probably end up drawing attention to me if it were a messy ending. She has light yellow fur, or by going downstairs without me. Mum would probably come check after yelling up, texting, calling a couple times. I'm back living at home after being dumped 7 years later. So being reclusive, working at my desk, in my room, napping, etc. is my current norm, and she will typically text prior to poking the bear. I would hate for her to experience that. I'm sitting in my office at work, alone and in a very secluded room that nobody ever comes into except me. The only person who would realize something was amiss would be my husband when I would eventually fail to arrive home this evening. He would probably call security, who would likely be unhelpful at first. My car is out in front of the building, so I imagine they'd eventually check my office. My mother, probably, man. She does not need that. I don't want to break her any more than she's already been broken. Also really don't want to put that on my dad, who would have to deal with the body, telling everybody what happened, a mentally broken wife who would have to go to her, and his own grief. This question made me sad. I'm supposed to go to a concert with my brother tomorrow, so I'd like to think he'd investigate when he gets to my place, and I'm not answering the door even though my car is here. My blinds are slightly open, so if he hopped my porch and peeked inside, he may see my body on the floor of the living room. I don't think there's really a way to find your first corpse unless you remember where you died and look for it. But you can definitely use another probe to find the probe again even after you've activated it. You can even place it again and it'll consume the probe, just not give you anything. My co-workers, at some point, not sure they would find me today. Depends how I fell. If I stayed upright in my desk chair, probably, but there's a desk between me and the door to my office. So if I fell under the desk, it could take a little while, but someone at work would find me for sure. I'm alone in my office. I'm on call too, so the pager will go off this weekend and my boss will eventually get a call about it. He'll write me up for not answering a page. Monday morning, my co-worker who is off today will come in and see my bloated corpse slumped on my keyboard. The patient currently on my imaging table will be first to be aware something's wrong, but I don't think they'd be able to get off the table or see me. Their yelling would eventually get another technologist's attention, who would then find me on the FL. It would probably be a while. I'm by myself at my house with no weekend plans whatsoever. Monday would be the closest day when my job wonders why I didn't show up, and who even knows if they would call in a search party for me. My partner, I'm sitting on my porcelain throne RN, with my elbows on my knees. So if I die this instant, I'd drop my phone, fall forward, and face plant into our cat's litter box with my ass pointing up. My parents on Valentine's Day when they come back from their trip to chill. I'm house sitting but also watching per dog. So technically, my dog would find me first. But that's just sad to think about. My cat, after that. Maybe my mother-in-law if she could manage to get up the stairs. If she couldn't get out of her wheelchair, then it would probably one of the neighbors after she called them, one of my roommates. And I would feel really bad if they had to find my dead body cause we aren't really that close. And it would just be a huge inconvenience for them to have to deal with that. Probably my BF a few days from now of me not answering his on Sunday when he arrives to go to church and I don't ace with the door. Not too sure, I'm just expecting it to take a while. It depends on how dead. Like, am I in a pool of blood? Am I just kinda sitting slouched with my head dropped? Maybe the cube next to me. Maybe he doesn't notice, and I'm here all weekend. Likely my friend Heather. She has a key to my house and starts to worry if she doesn't hear back from me next day if she leaves a message. Or if I don't reach out to her in a few days. Well, it's 2 a.m. Saturday morning. So most likely my mother-in-law in a couple days, when she comes over to pick me up for lunch and notices the dogs at the door looking rather thin. One of my employees, I'm in my office, most likely my clinical director, she has an adjacent office, and will be coming over in a few minutes for lunch and possibly a quickie. Either my pet-sitting host when she returns from her holiday at the end of the month, or the neighbors if the dogs I'm looking after get nosy once they finish eating my body. Probably the police within 24 hours. I have dinner scheduled with my mum tonight and confirmed the plan less than 2 hours ago. Otherwise, probably Wednesday of next week. It would be a race between my wife and kids to see who gets back from work school first. Edited to add not counting the pets. Of course, who'd be around me as I died? My dog. She never leaves my side. If I knew I was going to die in the next minute, I would run into the bathroom and die on the toilet. It would be funnier that way. Literally no one. My landlord would come back from vacay to the smell of death, and my boyfriend has no way in. Hopefully the landlord's cat don't find me first. I think this big dude at the gym right next to me would notice. By the looks of him, he could also carry me to the alley and throw me in the trash, no problem. It would take a while. I work from home and my parents and brother don't see me until I'm done, so they'd probably be a couple hours late to my passing. Yes, another question that reminds me that I have nobody. The ATP, I'll be dead so I won't care anymore. What a lovely day, I'm having lots of fun. Well, my wife is away on a business trip and returns Sunday. So probably her. As I am in the bathtub, it'd be unpleasant and the water would overflow. The guy who loads the biohazard dumpster at the hospital I'm working at, I hope he would have the good sense to throw me in and save on funeral costs. It's late where I am, so my remains would be found after dawn by any one of my family members if I were to indeed breathe. My last this second, probably a bus driver, having chest pains and while working outdoor. So went and sat at a bus stop until they go away. Ironic this came up. I'm home for lunch, so presumably my wife, although she would have our son after picking him up, so bought you, I hope she would see me first. I'm in a music library room that also serves as a quiet place to study or read. There's a guy across the table from me, so I guess him. Shit, probably the police or my brother when somebody inevitably would call for a welfare check when I haven't been heard from for a while. Probably my dad, my brother, and Sil rarely leave their room. But my dad checks on me frequently throughout the day. Due to my poor health, my wife am working from home, and she will be back from work with my kiddos later today. She usually comes in the door first though. My dog, as she's right at my feet, boyfriend would be the poor first human to find me when he gets home from work in 12 hours. My mother, and honestly since she's been under a lot of stress lately, I bet she would end up having a panic attack or something. My dog probably start eating me as soon as my body started to stink. I weigh 240 pounds, so dog should be good for a while. I'm currently standing in line for a ride at Walt Disney World, so there are quite a lot of people who would immediately notice. It's Lunar New Year. Asian parents probably will keep my body for a few days in order not to ruin the festive atmosphere. Probably my roommate, but since he barely goes outside of his room, is not even guaranteed that he's going to find me. First, the pizza guy, guess. Why do I gotta die before my pizza arrives, and not after I've eaten it, damn it? It's a cruel world. The lady next to me waiting for the same flight. A couple people will get an empty seat next to them to stretch out though. My husband coming home from his swimming lessons at any minute and expecting to dine with me. Poor him. No dinner ready yet. My mum. I just came to cuddle her on the sofa. She went to the kitchen to get some more fries. Anything but that, please. The guy studying chemistry across from me. Guy looks like he's fighting for his life. Hopefully he'd fight for mine too. Probably a park ranger. 'Cause knowing me, I'd get lost in the woods hiking and forget to tell someone where I was going. The random student in front of me, she'd probably be horrified that I just keeled over and died right in front of her. The next person to cone to the taxi rank, unless they just thought I was another old taxi driver sleeping in his car. My husband. It's just us and he'll be home tonight. The next person I expect here other than him is tomorrow morning. First my cat and then my boyfriend in about 4 hours. We just moved in together so that would suck for him. I'm headed back to my dorm room and right now, there's a garbage man and a guy walking with a bag of Chick-fil-A. My dog. He's in my office at home right now keeping me company while at work. Then my wife, when she comes home, probably my boss or the custodian. Here lies Mela Lehman. Poor to death on a Friday afternoon. Sounds accurate. My wife. probably be here for at least 6 hours before she did. I wonder if my 2 dogs would realize I was dead. I don't know. I live alone and don't have much close contacts law. I would probably get found BC of the smell. There has to be an obscure German word for the period of time between your sudden death and your discovery. The only thing for a while that kept me from shooting myself, thought of my kids or loved ones finding me. My husband's in bed right next to me, and I'm feeding my baby. Safe to say I'd be found pretty quickly law. My girlfriend on the other end of the sofa. Not that she'd notice. She's glued to Tears of the Kingdom. Any of the people who are sitting in the same area I am. I can see over 50 people within 50 feet of me. My boyfriend, he's upstairs sleeping right now. Would find me when he wakes up and comes downstairs. My dog would be the first. The first human would be my brother when he comes home in about an hour. Someone who works with me, or cleans the bathrooms. I'm currently on my throne in my office floor. Nobody. I'm sitting here all alone eating raw cookie, though wondering where it all went wrong. My cat's next, it's a toss-up between the police or my dad. Just to who gets there first scenario. I'm sitting in my little brother's room while he's playing guitar. Don't do this to us, please. Probably administration asking me why I haven't updated my parent contact log more frequently. Either my dog or my if I'm feeling frosty both at the same time would find me dead. The new girl's first day at the bank watching the security guard fall face first to the floor. Probably my brother on 29 February has his keys and is coming to visit, is his birthday. My sister. I'm sitting in her van outside the pot store while she's getting her gummies. There would be nothing left but bones because I have cats and nobody comes to see me.